Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a challenge that sits right at the very heart of public service. How can governments possibly deliver the results we all expect when they're constantly being asked to do more with less? So, let's kick things off with a really powerful idea that frames this entire conversation. The constant pressure between a huge mandate and tight resources, well, that's not actually a barrier. It's a catalyst. It's the very thing that forces us to think differently and innovate in a much smarter, more focused way. And that brings us right to the heart of the matter, the public sector paradox. It's this fundamental tension that every single leader has to navigate if they want to drive any real innovation. This is the central challenge we're going to unpack today. Now, what's so interesting here is how clearly this lays out the two opposing forces at play. I mean, on the one hand, you've got this ever-expanding mandate, right? A growing list of legal duties and citizens like you and me who frankly expect better and faster services. But then on the other hand, you've got the tough reality. Budgets that are always tight, constant reorganizations, and technology that's often, well, stuck in the past.
You know, this tension doesn't just exist on a PowerPoint slide. It creates a kind of digital maze full of very real, very frustrating hurdles that stop organizations from actually modernizing and improving how they serve us.
So, the first big hurdle? Siloed applications. Just picture it. All your critical data is trapped in completely separate systems. This creates huge blind spots and, you guessed it, a massive amount of duplicated work. It's basically inefficiency by design. And that just snowballs right into the second hurdle. Organizations end up spending a fortune trying to force all these separate systems to talk to each other. Systems that were never, ever designed to work together in the first place. It's a constant, expensive fight against their own tech. And what happens then? Well, you get this incredible IT complexity. All of a sudden, you're not just managing software anymore. You're juggling contracts and relationships with dozens of different vendors, each with their own rules, their own platforms. It becomes chaotic fast. And the final hurdle? The total cost. And we're not just talking about the sticker price of the software. It's the cost of all those custom integrations, the extra staff you need just to manage the chaos, and all the lost efficiency. The budget just spirals out of control. Okay, so how in the world do you escape this maze? The solution being proposed is a huge shift in thinking. Instead of trying to connect 100 different things after the fact, you start with one single unified platform. It's all about moving from being reactive to being proactive. And this right here, this just nails the difference. Integration is patchwork. It's a temporary fix, a band-aid. But unification, that's architecture. That's designing everything to work together perfectly from the very beginning. One is about coping with the mess, the other is about building something strong. Let's make this real. We're talking about a single platform that has over 45 applications for everything: finance, HR, citizen services, you name it. They're all built on the same foundation, all speaking the same digital language. Data just flows freely instead of being forced through a bunch of patched-together pipes. And get this is not some pie-in-the-sky futuristic idea. Over 60,000 organizations are already using this unified model to break themselves out of that digital maze. Okay, so the theory sounds great, right? But does a unified platform actually deliver in the real world, especially for the public sector? Let's take a look at how this really works in practice. Take a look at this. This government agency was dealing with a huge flood of citizen applications. They were able to automate their entire process. And the result? A staggering 98% gain in efficiency. That's not a small tweak, folks. That is a complete transformation of what they're capable of doing. Here's another really powerful example. By getting all their data onto a single platform, social service workers freed up 80% of their time from mind-numbing administrative tasks. That is time they could now spend focusing on what actually matters, helping families. Just think about the human impact of a shift like that. So here's the kicker. These incredible results didn't come from some massive 5-year budget-busting transformation project. They came from smart, targeted solutions that delivered real value really quickly. And that leads us to maybe the most important idea of all. This isn't just about scoring a few one-off wins. It's about building a sustainable, long-term capability for innovation right inside the organization. And you get there through this lean, repeatable playbook. First, you prioritize the small projects that are going to have a big impact. Second, you use the people and processes you've already got. Third, you You try to enhance your current tech before you run out and buy something new. And maybe most importantly, you keep it simple. The goal is to make success a regular habit, not some rare heroic effort. I love how this slide breaks it down. You need both the art and the science. The art is that quick, visible win that gets everybody excited and proves what's possible. But the science is the strong, unified foundation that lets you repeat that success again and again, making innovation just a core part of how you operate. And this brings us to the perfect metaphor for this whole thing. A single project is like building one car. It's great, but it only gets you so far. The real goal here is to build the engine, a durable, powerful engine for continuous public service innovation that can power countless solutions for years to come. So we'll leave you with this final thought. As a citizen, when you interact with public services, the DMV, the post office, anything, where do you see the biggest need for a new, better engine to drive change? It's a fascinating question to think about. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.